My name's Sergeant Gibson. We're here at Fort Wainwright, Alaska, and we're about to set up the 10-man Arctic tent. So right now, we're working through setting up the Akio. It's an Arctic 10-man tent. So you can fit one squad and maybe an extra person in to the tent, and you can sleep in it when it's really cold outside. So we have a stove that's going to get put up in here after the tent's put up. We're going to go through all that and show how that works. Practicing putting up the tent is very important because you're going to be using this tent when you set into a patrol base when it's very cold outside, because it gets temperatures down low enough here that if you sleep outside, it's extremely dangerous. So we set up the tents so that we can keep people warm when they're not out on mission or running patrols. This location, the ground's like very solid, frozen with the permafrost because it's cold, 6 months out of the year here. But right now they're having to punch those stakes through the frozen ground with rocks. So that's why they've got the pickaxe out and the sledge off the truck, so that we can actually break through some of that ice to get down to dirt that's not as hard. So this is the Akio sled, and right now it's kind of all over the place, but that's because stuff's being pulled out so we can start setting the tent up. But this is the sled that your tent would be pulled with, and this is basically the easiest way to move your equipment through the woods and in the snow without having to carry it. Weighs about 250 pounds when it's fully loaded, when you got your water and your fuel in here. Right now he's setting up the stove. All right, so it's got a stack that he's putting on it. This stove burns JP8, which is diesel. At any time that the stove is burning, there's someone on fire guard. So there's always someone in the tent awake at all times when the stove is on. So if there is a tent fire or whatever, they can wake everybody up. There's also, that goes in the tent, there's a fire extinguisher. That's all just part of that safety, the mitigation, so that there's nothing bad that can happen. So what's going to happen is your squad leader is going to take charge at this point, and he's going to make sure that all the lines are hooked up on the stakes, right? And if you can hear him right now in the background, he's counting, right? So he'll count down to let the people know that are pulling the lines to pull them at the same time. Yeah, so these black lines are your tent lines. So this is where you're gonna pull the tent tight with to actually open it up. These right here, these black pieces of plastic, it's called a dog bone. And what that does is it holds tension on the line so that the line actually stays tight. You can see he's tightening one up right now. So you can see as he tightens it, how it pulls that tent out, right? And that's all that is. They're tying down the stovepipe to the tent itself, right? You tie that stovepipe down to the tent so that when it blows with the wind, the stovepipe moves with the tent. I've been in the tent with the stove running down to like 20, 30 below, and it's livable. It's warm. Pretty much it's pretty much done. There's not a lot to it, but it's definitely a very good piece of equipment for the Arctic. So that's how you set up an Arctic 10-man tent. If you do it right, it'll keep you warm. To learn more, visit GoArmy.com.